Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your July 2020 full moon reading for you. Now this reading will last from full moon to full moon, so from July 5th to August 3rd. So let's clear the energy here and raise our energy vibration. All right. Now, if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. So let's dive in. I have the moon all set up here for us to talk about. And what I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to be doing your tarot reading. And after the tarot reading, we will be layering the moon, okay, the moon cards of the Queen of the Moon and the Moonology cards on top of the tarot to really give Luna a voice of her own. So before we talk about this moon and everything that it entails, let's see what the tarot has to say. Taurus. How will Taurus be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Taurus be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Taurus be affected by the July 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Show me clearly. Show me clearly. Show me clearly. Oh, goodness. Okay. I love that they're just jumping out. Guide this reading, angels and spirit guides. All right. That is where I'm going to stop. So let's see here. We start with the Six of Wands. This is your inner self. This is your heart self. You have the Page of Cups, water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Then you have the Four of Cups, which is your public self. So this line, your inner self, your heart, and your public self. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. The Six of Cups, the repeat of the number 6 here, is a very loving, committed number. Then we have the Queen of Cups, again reiterating the water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. You have the Magician, which is absolutely beautiful. The Star, Aquarius energy. The full moon in August, on the 3rd of August, is in Aquarius, so that's going to be very powerful for you. Then we have the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The new moon is in Leo, so that is also going to be very powerful. Chariot energy, which is a Cancer time frame. That is a time frame of June 21st to July 22nd. Aquarius time frame is January 20th to February 18th. The moon, Pisces energy, February 19th to March 20th. And then we have the Nine of Wands. So there's something here that you are really standing for, okay? Publicly, Taurus, there's a change that's going on, but there's like, you've been through a battle, you've been transformed, you are moving towards something greater, something more. Yeah, there's a gift that's being handed to you. Yeah, with the Four of Cups, definitely. There's a gift that's being handed to you, and that's really changing the way that you're looking at things. It's like divinity is coming forward, moving you towards what it is that you truly want. Your heart self is being blessed. There's a sense of childlike innocence as you're starting things. And then there's a sense of deeper understanding, deeper intuition, a sense of, really moving towards the subconscious and seeing things that have been holding you back. You're going to be being brutally honest with yourself during this time. And privately, there is a sense here of moving forward in celebration. It's kind of like you're set free. You see something that hadn't been seen before, hadn't been realized. And that really comes from this Capricorn moon. Now, the Capricorn moon is, of course, a earth sign. Capricorn is an earth sign, so this is going to be an earth sign moon, which is a moon that you're more comfortable in, being an earth sign energy. It has this grounding, stabilizing feeling. But because Capricorn is more regimented, okay, kind of more rule-oriented, Taurus, you can even find it to be a little restricting, okay? But this is the blessings moon, all right, and the stag moon. It's the stag moon in the Farmer's Almanac. So when we see the stag moon, when I see the stag, it is a sign of majesty. It's a sign of royalty. That's why, royals would have the stag be their emblem. And so here you are having that royal blessing coming forward from the 5th onwards up until the 3rd of August. Now on the 5th of July, which is of course the day of the full moon, there is a lunar eclipse which amplifies things, and it brings us to this feeling of perseverance, accountability. We're holding ourselves accountable for things, and also we are committed. So here with this Capricorn full moon, this ends a tough cycle. And as it ends a tough cycle, it brings us forward in power and in surrendering to the divine. So as you are coming to the end of a tough cycle, and you're doing this more externally, internally, you're finding a balance. Well, you're also ending this tough cycle. Here, you're finding a balance, you're stating a truth, you are seeing the way that you want to move forward, you're seeing the place that you want to be, you're being very honest with yourself, but you're also saying, I don't want to juggle this anymore. I don't want to be, carrying this burden anymore. And as you are having that come forward and you're ending a tough situation with power and a surrendering to divine guidance and divine understanding, it leads you to the sense with the full moon eclipse of conclusions being within reach, of things making more sense. And this is because you're looking at change. In the Queen of the Moon cards, this moon, this blessing moon and this stag moon is called the thunder moon because it brings forth change, because you see your majesty, because you start to see the blessings that are a part of your soul. And for some of you Taurians, you're going to be sitting there and saying, there are no blessings, Dane. It is one hardship after another after another. It is one kick in the teeth after another after another. And first and foremost, I want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're going through this. I'm sorry that life can be so terribly struggling. But also here, as you are moving forward, and you are moving forward, even though it doesn't feel at times like you are, there's a win in it. And you know what? When you haven't had sweetness on your lips, when you haven't had joy in your heart, the win is all that greater because of it. The sweetness is all that more sweet. It's all that more savory and just brilliant and luscious. And that's what I see you moving towards. Something that makes you revel in your existence, makes you sit there and say, this is my truth. This is who I am. And this is why I'm here. It doesn't have to be big. We always think our truth has to be huge. And sometimes our truth is very quiet, very kind, very small, overlooked in this crazy, I can shout louder than you world, and you will hear me and you will understand existence. Let's walk quietly forward with love at our hearts, because that's where you're at, Taurus. And you want that peace. You want that calm. And with this Capricorn moon, all right, yes, it is a moon that can put, work before play very easily, very, very easily, because you are an earth sign energy. Be mindful of that. Be mindful of work coming before play, not clay, but also molding your life. You're going to think, if I mold it with order and structure and rules and this and that, it'll be better. It won't necessarily. It will have less of the whimsy. And if that's what you want, then do so. But I'm seeing here laughter being astoundingly important. The Capricorn full moon is when moon is at the most organized, okay? When she's the most organized, the most practical, the most methodical. And when you're really looking at plans and long-term goals, you're setting up what you desire. And you're going to be looking at the long-term goals almost as if they mean more than the present moment. And I'm not saying, just like, go and have fun, do whatever you want and everything like that. No, we have to plan for the future, right? And we have to be responsible. But it's saying here, remember to laugh. Remember to take joy. Because here you're connecting with your DNA story. You're connecting with the story that has been passed down from generation to generation within your line. Right? You're also inheriting and coming into contact and into really clear sight with your past life self. And so at this time, your DNA story, your past life story is becoming very clear to you. And you're having this very strong connection with your ancestors. Right? So it can be the ancestors that live within you, okay, the ancestors of who you once were, the ancestors of your line, of your history, okay? And it can also be that you find yourself very drawn to a certain time period, a certain place, okay? Something is going to be very intoxicating to you, you're going to be very drawn towards it, okay? This is a discovery. If you don't know, like, you're like, oh man, I don't know why I'm so drawn to this time period, or why I'm so drawn to these stories, or why I'm so drawn to this art, or something to that effect. It's going to be it's going to be beautiful to you. It's just going to be seen as very beautiful. That's your past life self coming forward. And as your past life self comes forward, you are embracing your truth. Now you are walking out of Mercury retrograde on the 12th of July. So we're going into Mercury direct on the 12th of July. That's going to be very important for you because you're going to feel like the miscommunications, they get healed. But you're also going to find that this Mercury retrograde, which is usually such a chaotic, terrible time where things get muddled and, just everything's up in the air, it's actually cleared out a lot. It's made things more truthful, more honest, more powerful for you. And now, on the 20th of July, you walk into the new moon in Leo. And the new moon in Leo calls to confidence. Okay, confidence is key to your success. Now, the void of course during this time, which the void of course says nothing will come of this situation, meaning the void of course is when you think, okay, things are going to go this way, and then they go almost the exact opposite. And you sit there and you look at it and you're like, seriously? Seriously? Like, this is what I get? Like, thanks a lot, world. So the void of course is at 1:55 p.m., and this is Eastern Standard Time. All right? So for an hour, I would say from 1:30 to 2:30, if you could avoid doing anything, if you could avoid doing anything from 1 o'clock to, from 1 to 3, that would be probably best. But just take that time from 1:30 to 2:30 and don't make any really big decisions, or you can, carve out 20 minutes where you let yourself just sit. You let yourself be quiet. You look and you see what needs to be done, and you do so quietly, introspectively, and don't make any big, especially communicative decisions, like decisions when you're talking with other people where other people have to be involved, because something goes awry. And it's easier to deal with if it's just you and a book or, a paper or something that you are working on. Looking at that and diving deeper into it. That's going to be something that, you can handle during this void, of course, very easily and don't have to worry about. So just be mindful of 1:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time during the new moon. This is going to be a time where you just really want to avoid doing anything or getting involved in anything, because it's not going to go the way that you would like it to. Now, the new moon also shows us beginnings, and it brings us into this place where a new start is coming. We know it, we're ready for it, and the new moon brings an excitement to it. So know that you have to move forward during this new moon in confidence, in a connection of self and of power, and as you do so, your confidence is key. It's not being braggadocious. You're going to have this sense of, oh, I'm being too showy, I'm being too, look at me. No. Stand tall, stand firm in your confidence, in your expression of self, and let it shine forward, because that's going to be really, really powerful for you. This then moves you to the full moon in Aquarius, which is on the 3rd of July. This is the corn moon, the surgeon moon, and this moon is in Aquarius. And this moon says, show the world the real you. And here in the Queen of the Moon cards, this is patience. This is the green corn moon, which is rather pretty. And you have to have patience as you move forward, as you show the world the true you, as you embrace the true you. It's going to be stepping out of your comfort zone. It's going to be embracing your sensuality, embracing your love of the finer things. The artistic side, the sensual, beautiful side of you, Taurus, really starts to come out. during the full moon in Aquarius. And that's something that can be at odds with this full moon in Capricorn, with its practicality, with its sense of, crossing out all denials and saying, this is the place you're supposed to live in truth and in honesty and in, skipping the shortcuts and just moving towards the goals. The Aquarius full moon will be kinder, nicer, gentler. Now, as you are embracing this blessings moon, because, sometimes we all just need a little kick in the tuchus to move us forward and to say, this is my truth, this is who I am, and that's what the Capricorn moon does. But what I love about it is it connects us with the archetype of our elders. It connects us with the sacredness of those who have passed, with the sacredness of our deeper self. Now, when our DNA story is told, a beautiful thing about our DNA story is that it carries the memory of the ages in it. But one of the intense things about a DNA story is that our DNA holds sorrow in it. It does, like a cup. So it has been scientifically proven that if your family line has been through traumatic, chaotic, horrible times, it's inherited in your DNA. So when a DNA story becomes powerful and truthful and, encompassing in your life, if it is traumatic, be prepared. Be prepared to have a connection with that trauma. And at times you may not want a connection, like that firm a connection with the trauma, because it can be too much. So here is where you come in personally with your inner self. And you look at things not as, this is a trauma that I have to change or have to make amends for, or I have to set it right for my whole family, for my whole self. It's like I have to honor it and I have to move forward in pride in me. And that's going to be the way you look at your DNA story. It's like, how do I hold my head up high? How do I know what I love? How do I stand for what is right and just and beautiful? And let that be a part of myself. Because that's the story that you are walking in now, Taurus. It's not the pains of the past anymore. Though we always carry the scars with us, you are seeing your truth, your power, and your understanding. And as you do so, there's a sense of celebrating yourself. Why? That's what your ancestors would want you to do. They would want you to hold your head up high, to be that beautiful, powerful you, for them to see a bit of themselves living in someone so spectacular. You might not see it, but they do. You look at our world today and you might say, I don't have what everybody else has. You have so much more than those who came before us could ever have imagined. It's powerful. It's beautiful. And celebrate you. Now it moves you to the sense of, on one hand, you want to celebrate yourself. On the other hand, you have so much to do. Your full moon's in Capricorn. It's time to get things done. Be kind. Be kind to you. Because as you're juggling everything, as you're looking at everything, Taurus, the first person you are going to neglect is, of course, yourself. And so here you're juggling, you're sitting there, you're saying, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I need this, I need that. And the bridge is rickety, okay, that you're standing on. You're not on solid ground. Underneath is water, our emotional self, chaos, truth, beauty, everything that our hearts make. And so you're finding that balance. You're finding that understanding. You're looking at things more truthfully. But you have to watch you first, or else things will fall. And they just will. Because you're putting too much pressure on what needs to be, what you see as being absolutely valuable. And you forget to celebrate you. That you are absolutely valuable. And as you're looking at this balance, as you're looking at your truth, the magician comes into play. And this is your inner self. You are the magician. You are the conjurer. You are standing before the altar of your existence. You are surrounded by the gifts of the universe. You are so much more than you could ever have imagined. Your power, your grace. As above, so below. As you think it, so it becomes. What are you focusing on? What do you want? Because what the magician focuses on, the magician becomes. You are moving towards grace and understanding. You are connecting with magic. And the beautiful thing about the magician is that the magician is the alchemist. He turns lead into gold. The lead is ourselves. We are a piece of lead. Valuable, yes, in certain circumstances, but gold is always so much more oohing and eyeing. We are turning ourselves into gold, into beauty, into a metal that Spirit is saying that it doesn't age, doesn't lose its luster. It is the power of your soul, yourself, that sparkle, that truth, that no matter how far time goes on, that sparkle remains, that beauty becomes. And that's what you are. You are the beauty that becomes you. You are becoming that beauty. And you are seeing the power. You are seeing that you are taking all the gifts of the universe internally, personally, powerfully. And you are standing in your truth. You are holding on to your power. As you do so, you have the Chariot. I like how you start with the Six of Wands here. You end with the 7th card in the Major Arcana, the Chariot. The Chariot is a Cancer energy, a time frame June 21st to July 22nd. The Chariot is pulled by a black horse. Here it is a black Pegasus. The black Pegasus, the black horse, symbolizes the darkness that we are afraid of, because we're sight hunters. We like things to be in the light. The black horse also symbolizes the subconscious self, the fact that it is so much easier not to be quiet, not to be contemplative, but just to keep on moving forward. With the Chariot, we need to look within. A chariot driver in the ancient times was the NASCAR driver of their day. There was a power, there was a focus, there was a in the zone type of space to them. That's what you're embracing. Looking at what it is that you truly want. Seeing that at times in the darkness, we're not afraid of the absence, but in the overwhelming input that our other senses take in. Black is not a color of nothing, it is a color of everything. And so as we are taking in everything, we can become overwhelmed. And as we become overwhelmed, we want to turn away. The charioteer doesn't turn away. The charioteer looks at things dead in the eye and says, this is what I love, and this is why I'm here. Cancer does that more easily than other signs do. Why? It is their gift. Like you stand in your truth and your sensuality, power and reason, focus and understanding. They stand in their love. And that's what you're doing. And I did forget here your spirit animal cards, because you're really embracing the woodpecker spirit. Now, I don't have actually any of the proper cards for the spirit animals, for your totem animals of this time. They're the woodpecker, the salmon, and the cougar, okay? But the woodpecker spirit shares a lot in common with the bear. They do not give up on those that they love. And Taurus, that's you. You do not give up on those that you love, even when sometimes you should. You hold to what your heart knows to be true, and you hold to it with the power and the might of ages, with the love of generations, with the knowledge of an old soul. You hold your blessings true to you. They're planted over your heart. This leads you then to the salmon spirit, which is the spirit animal for July and for August. And the nightingale spirit here sums up the salmon spirit very beautifully. Love is all around you. The salmon spirit moves in love. Love and joy and happiness, movement, rebirth, eternal life, the eternal feminine, which you are very drawn to. You are very drawn to the eternal feminine. It does not matter your gender or how you identify yourself. It simply matters that you are drawn to the kind, the beautiful, the serene, and the supple. And this leads you to live a life of fulfillment and to fill it with people and things that you truly love. You're not going to have time for the nonsense. You're not really going to even want to toy with the nonsense. The salmon spirit is very powerful around you. And the cougar spirit for August, spirit animal for August, as the salmon spirit is for August also, is leadership and taking charge of your life. And the panther spirit sums that up rather nicely. Claim your power. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your truth. Move forward in your life's purpose and passion. You will not be held back. And that leads your heart to being a student. To being a student of what it loves, of what it desires, of where it wants to be, of looking at things and being open and honest with yourself. It leads you to taking in a beautiful truth. During this time, that is what you will be doing. Taking in a beautiful truth. And it growing within you. Because you are the queen publicly. People see you as the majesty, as the ruler. You are the student internally. You will always see yourself as having more to learn. As having more to understand. And at times you're going to sit there and be like, why can't I be the queen internally? Why can't I feel like I know? And it's because we're all on a spiritual journey. We're all looking at greater truths, greater understandings, especially if you stumble across this channel. We're seekers. You're seeking. You're anointed here with love as you seek. Let that love wash over you because it's connecting you. And as this love washes over you, it's part of your passion. You're standing tall for the generations that came before. For the lives that you have lived before. It's like you're reclaiming your power. You're reclaiming your truth. You are so connected that at times, yes, it can feel very overwhelming. And this is just a warning, okay? It might not feel overwhelming for you. But here, know that I have to give you both sides of the coin. If I only tell you all the positive things and negative things happen, that's not fair. That's not me doing my job. Connecting you with spirit the way that they're talking to me. I don't get to cherry pick. Take what's right for you. Leave the rest. Right? Listen to your soul and how things resonate. Because here, with the Six of Cups, there is a love coming in. The Six of Cups is connecting with the stages of our lives. Okay? Here she is in a white dress, a wedding dress. A wedding dress symbolizes a next stage of life. Was it always white? No, it wasn't. Okay, that was decided by Queen Victoria. No, before you just wore a really nice dress, or your best dress. That's what a lot of people wore. Here, there is a symbol. There is a picture of her as a child in a white dress. Right? A significant stage in her life moving forward. You have the face of her now in her wedding dress. Could be. Then you have another white dress. Another stage in life moving forward in. Signifying purity, signifying majesty, signifying mourning, the mourning of the end of one stage of life and the beginning of another. There are so many things that we go through, and a lot of things that we don't share with people as we change and as we evolve, and you're looking at them within your heart. There's a nostalgia here too, and of course there's a nostalgia. You're so terribly connected with the past and with history that it would be odd for there not to be a nostalgia. You may feel like you are remembering significant moments, but they're not yours. They're not yours, they're your ancestors. They're your elders, they're your spirit guides. They are stories you're being communicated to by stories. Take note of them. Creatively, you might very well want to release them, right? By writing them out through artwork, through any way possible. Song, dance. You're going to need a creative outlet. And it comes from the heart. I just see this radiant light shining from your heart, moving you forward. You're connecting with it. Don't live in the past. And don't live for the transitions. Look at the moment. Stand tall and radiant within the moment because you're being guided by the love of yourself, of the earth, of generations. And it's helping you find your balance because it's sitting there and it's saying, there is so much more truth to me than just this moment. I'm bigger than this. And it emboldens you. And it moves you to the stars. Now the stars in Aquarius time frame, January 20th to February 18th, very connected with the August full moon. Okay? But there's also a sense of moving towards what you love, a highest form of your perfection. It's not saying I have to be perfect. I'm not a fan of perfect. I used to be a very big fan of perfect. Just do things perfectly, do your best, and then put like 110% more into that. Be kind to yourself now. Know that perfect is a dream that we chase. It's an aspiration, right? But mostly it's a lie. Nothing will ever be perfect. Once it enters this world, it's touched. It's touched by a little bit of chaos. It's touched by a little bit of humanity. It's touched by a little bit of ourselves. And we can all be our best. But perfect isn't a part of that. The star is what we wish for. The highest form of perfection when our ancestors looked at the night sky. We're looking for something more. Taurus, you will be looking for something more. A little bit more. A little bit of a deeper meaning. It comes through the magic that is within you and around you. Okay? It comes from a truth. And it moves you forward. It has you seeing, understanding. And it has you facing fears. The moon brings fears. We see its ebb and its flow. We see it waxing and waning. We see it, growing and shrinking. And we see it. And we think of ourselves. We think of life, civilization, humanity. It shows us so much. It gives us so much. And yet it gives us so many questions. And so here, as you have the moon come to you, come rest within your heart during this full moon, you feel its power a bit more. You're very connected to the night sky emotionally. Actually, if you could take a nice long bath during this moon, or have a little ritual, a glass of wine while you sit outside, or a glass of water, and sit and connect with it, look out your window at it, have this ritual of understanding, it's going to move you towards its grace. There are mysteries that come to you. Things that have bothered you that you're going to find either make a little bit more sense or don't have the same impact on you as they once did. There's a power to the shadows. It's not just fear. It's understanding, it's insight, it's light, it's truth. And it leads you to your public self, which is astoundingly powerful. You start with the Four of Cups. Publicly, you are being given a gift. You might not see it right away. You might be looking at other things. But there's a shift, there's a change. There's a power around you. It can very well be given by a water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, strong Pisces and Cancer presence in this reading. It's a battle well fought. It's a time with understanding coming forward. Deeper truths, deeper knowledge, deeper meaning. Divinity hands you a gift, and you're not going to be looking for it, so it will take you time to see it. But it's there, and you can feel it. But what is more is that even though you can feel it and you'll think, oh, there's something here, others can see it. Others can see a change. You're on the verge of something. And then you have the Queen's energy that comes in. Publicly, you aren't the masculine, forceful energy of the king, quote-unquote masculine, the queen, quote-unquote feminine. Think of that as you may. But the queens, for me, are gentler, softer. They are just as fierce, but they do so in a different way. It's not that brute force, I'm in your face, yell and scream type of way. It's in a subtler way. It could be in a more manipulative way, right? If you want to go that far. But I'm not seeing it as negative. But I want you to know it has power, but it has its own power. It's kind of like Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I was astounding, okay? She inherited a world in chaos, right? And I believe she was the monarch who, like, the English monarch who put more people to death than any other monarch. But that isn't always spoken about. It's like her power, it's her, grace, it's her determination. But there was an underbelly to it that wasn't all roses and sunshine. And so here, there is a force to you. Now with the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is not the queen of, off with their heads. The Queen of Cups is the queen of serenity. It's the queen of spiritual peace. It's the queen of emotional understanding. It's the queen of having her toes dipped in the waters of life. Being connected with something more, something greater, something peaceful. Wisdom and truth guide you. Again, anointed. There is a sense of seeing more clearly. Dragonflies, for me, represent the other side of that energy coming in. And this is a time where you have water and fire coming together. You might say, okay, steam, yes. But there is a sense here of emotional truth, of emotional understanding, and instinct really moving you forward. The Queen of Wands is a fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You're finding balance here and finding meaning emotionally through the way that things are evolving and through a focus on self. When you have your understanding moving you forward, when you see the power that is you, and you look at it as blessings, you look at it as love, as joy, it brings you to fire, to passion, to understanding. So you have the Queen of the Moon, you have the Queen of the Sun, right? You have the element that shines like silver, and you have the element that blazes like the sun. And those are coming together. Molding, reflecting, shaping, being so much more than they ever could be by themselves. Because your heart is speaking to your instinct, is speaking to your passion, is speaking to the reason why you're on this earthly plane. And you are a monarch. You are a ruler. You are a queen. And as much as people would like to see you as soft and fragile, you're not. You're determined. You're bold. And you're brave. And you move forward in that understanding, in that truth. And as you do so, as you embrace this passion, as you embrace this beauty, you see that it's a battle won and that you are transformed. You've stood your ground. You've done your time. You've come to almost the completion of a cycle. And it has to do with your passion. It has to do with your heart. It has to do with what you desire and what you need. And yes, you're battered and you're broken and life hurts and it stinks. Stronger words added for censorship in your own mind. Look at what you want. Look at what you desire. Stop listening to the rest of the world. Stop waiting for the time when perfect comes, when you think you deserve to be the queen, the monarch, the ruler of your own destiny. And say the time is now. You will make mistakes. Who's ever ready? But this is your time and your truth. And you are emboldened and transformed by it. And it can be that somebody in your ancestral line, okay, your past life line, water sign, fire sign energy, moves you forward, hands you this gift. Or just on this earthly plane. It doesn't have to be anything spiritual like that. It can be a water sign, fire sign person, brings you forward, shows you more, hands you gifts that you hadn't seen before, and lets you, know that you are triumphant, because you are. Let's just see what your ending message is from Spirit and your angels. What is the ending message for Taurus for July 2020 full moon? What is the ending message for Taurus for July 2020 full moon? What is the ending message for Taurus for July 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me. Ooh. Show me clearly. All right. Ooh. Okay, so you have the Hermit, the Lord, and the King of Pentacles. Well, hot darn. Okay, so the Lord is the Emperor. You have very strong masculine energy as you're ending. You are coming through as the King of Pentacles. Personally, you're coming through as a king. Powerful, determined, dedicated. Okay, this forceful masculine energy. This sense of, charging down hills and yelling, arg. That's kind of like a pirate, but we'll go with it. There's a power to you. There's a sense of knowing that the crops that you've planted, the seeds that you've harvested, what you desire, it comes to fruition. Through sheer force of will, determination of soul, dedication of self. There's a force to you internally that you will not be able to silence. If you do silence it, you're going to feel weaker because of it. You're going to feel like you're denying something big, because you are. And that something big is you. Your heart self, the Lord. The Lord is the eternal Father, is the rules of our life and our existence, is an Aries energy, which is a time frame of March 21st to April 19th. Force, power, dedication, determination, magic. The force of the will is like magic. The antlers on his head connect you really heart-wise to this stag moon. It's a sign of majesty. It's like Bambi's father was the king of the forest, right? He was a stag. Bambi grew up to be a stag. You are embracing that majesty. And it didn't matter if before you were lost. You are inheriting your own forest, your own truth, your own fires, blazings, and loves to be had. It's life. It's not always pretty. But you are connected, determined, dedicated. You are the Emperor, the Lord, the ruler of your destiny. And you know it. You know it too. I love that you have so many major arcana cards when it comes to your heart self. And then you have the Hermit, the teacher, the wise person, the stepping back and looking in, the saying what's truly important to me and what do I want to light my path, guide my soul, move me forward. You're looking at yourself. You're looking at what you desire. There are going to be mentors and wise women and men and crones and guides along the way. Listen. For some of you, you will be so connected during this time. You will find answers on the whispers of the wind and in the chirping of the birds. You will. For others, it's going to be more concrete. It's going to be more stable and steady and logical. And that's fine too. There's a sense of needing quiet. And especially within the public, within this power and this force that is you as the queens here, you need to turn inward. You need to take these gifts. You need to be guided by the light of truth, guarded by the dog, by the wolf, however you see it, by the tamed aspect of humanity or the wild aspect of humanity, and it can interchange. And as you see things, you gain an understanding. You gain a reality that is very personal and very sacred to you. Let's see what the moon has to say. We'll start off with the Queen of the Moon. How will Taurus be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Taurus be affected by the July 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show us clearly. Okay. And now for the Moonology Cards. How will Taurus be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Taurus be affected by the July 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show us clearly. Guide this message and show us clearly. Goodness. These ones right here. Okay, cool. So we're going to stop here. Put those back. Okay. You have creation, assessing, and darkness. Release. Capricorn. You have new moon in Capricorn and you have full moon in Leo. So the Capricorn full moon and the Leo new moon, very powerful for you. Very, very powerful for you. Okay. Then we have the full moon in Libra, the Virgo full moon, and the new moon in Libra. So you have a connection with the Virgo and with the major arcana with the Virgo. So Virgo is very powerful for you, and so is Libra. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot that you're taking in. It's balancing, it's gaining you understanding. Because I love the sentence that this creates. Well, it's kind of like a sentence. Creation has you assessing the darkness of the moon, the darkness of the soul, the darkness of the self, to embrace your magic, embrace your powers of as above, so below, as you see it, so it becomes. Walk forward in victory. You are never alone. You are never separate. There is something beautiful for you, and you're creating it. You are discovering it. It's becoming a part of you, and you're assessing your life, your soul, yourself. You're looking at things more deeply, more truly, more powerfully. And this leads you, this is you personally, okay? This creation is very personal for you, okay? Very intimate. And then it's a release. Your heart is releasing. It's cleansing. And you see, as your heart is cleansing, as you're reborn, as things are coming anew, that your hard work paid off. Your hard work has paid off. And it leads you to knowing, excuse me, don't let pride get in your way. Don't let pride hold you back. Know your truth. Know that you release the negative energy. You release the... Spirit is saying you're releasing the earthly needs. So that seems rather big, but that can be very true for a lot of you, where you're releasing what is no longer relevant, and you are becoming the ruler, the orderer, the understander of your destiny, of your truth, as you move forward, knowing what you truly desire and not being afraid of it. You're going through the stages of life as a student, as somebody who is constantly learning, constantly gaining and understanding, constantly transforming. And you're releasing all that holds you back. And as you release the negative, as you release the power that has kept you where you do not want to be, balance comes in most definitely. The full moon in Libra says a win-win outcome is forecast, which is absolutely nice. Because you're good enough. The Virgo full moon is saying you're good enough. Which isn't condescending. I always feel, and I know I say this every single time, I always feel like it can be terribly condescending to sit there and say, oh, you're good enough. But it doesn't mean it this way. It means you're good enough. As you are, as you stand, you're good enough. And by knowing that, you're letting in a win-win situation. You're letting in a win-win power. And it leads you to a new romantic cycle starting. A new call of love in your life. A new call of passion and understanding and beauty and truth. So creation of your inner self releases anything that is holding you back within your heart. And it moves you towards a win-win situation. You're assessing as your hard work pays off. You're seeing, like, what do I get from this? Like, how does this move forward? It's that practical Capricorn coming through. And you have the earthy Virgo coming in and saying, I'm enough. I am good enough. I am enough. And that's powerful and invigorating and truthful as you take in the darkness of the moon, as you take in the darkness of our world. And instead of looking at the shadows as something bad, you look at them as the possibilities that they are, as the manifestations of our reality, our fears, our desires, our hopes, our dreams, of what lies within our minds. And you don't let pride get in your way. You sit there and you say, I move forward in my truth, in my passion, for my purpose. And it's not to show anybody else or to have anybody else be in awe, though they will be. Because a new romantic cycle begins. You fall in love with life again. And your subconscious message, well, your subconscious messages for this time from the tarot is the Three of Swords, heartbreak, pain, disappointment. You're looking at the heartbreaks within your life. You're transforming them. They're no longer going to be defining factors, absolute truths. You release. You look at the heartbreaks that forged you. 3 heartbreaks in particular, okay? Or 3 recurring themes of pain. And you release them. But what is more beautiful is that they release you. And you no longer have a space for them within your heart, within your soul. You will always remember, we always remember pain. But they will no longer be defining you because you have released them. And they release their hold on you. This then moves you to your deeper subconscious message, which is again the Queen of Cups. One foot in the waters of time, one foot on land. Strong, strong, strong Queen of Cups energy. Love, a holding, a blessing of the moon coming forward. Embracing the tides of our existence, the ebb and the flow of time, space, ourselves. Beauty, release, and truth. Understanding. Compassion. Love. Profound and utter love. Which moves you to the subconscious message of the moon, which is hunger. Hunger for the truth that lies within you. Hunger for the power that is all around you. Hunger for the freedom that once was, to run free, to sing free, to be free. A fight against the constraints of a civilized world. And sometimes letting your soul just run. Letting yourself just be. Free and silly and carefree and beautiful. And then you have your final subconscious message from the moon. What do you need to release so that you no longer hunger? So that you have. So that the pain does not define you and the love moves all around you. All right, Taurus. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe.